People of Gaza is going to be more of the message that should be sent to the people here, in that they have achieved victory. We haven't done anywhere near enough. And the people here, I promise you, we do feel ashamed. We do feel like we're not doing enough. We do feel like change needs to come, because change must come. And in the form that it must come is that this empire, the American empire that's been hurting our people since the beginning, the imperial Western powers that have been hurting our people since the beginning, they must fall. And inshallah, they will fall. And my message to the people of Gaza and the oppressed peoples across the world is that there are people here, both young and old, who are going to be willing to fight and are willing to put their lives and everything they can on the line to bring these empires down, because they must come down.
Welcome back, Warriors. It's me, Linda B. Thank you all so much for joining me here today. Warriors, we got some Democrats in the state of Michigan who have been busted big time for voter fraud. And we're going to talk about a little bit more about the Islamic takeover, allegedly, that wants to take place in the Western world to overturn Western imperialism. That's what we'll be talking about today on Chat with Me, Linda B. To know what to do, give me that thumbs up, comment, share, subscribe to my channel, select all notifications, stick around to the end. Let's go. Also, don't forget that I am here on most Mondays through Thursdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on YouTube doing a live show. I go live. I interact. It's very interactive with my subscribers, and I highlight your comments. It's a great time. Mondays through Thursdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on YouTube. You can follow me on Twitter, Linda B Podcast on Twitter, and TikTok and Instagram as Chat with Me, Linda B. All right, let's get into it. I've got some amazing clips here to share with you. And this really just coincides with another video that I've done. And I will link that video at the end of this one, where it is literally, you're literally seeing it play out right before our very eyes. This intentional Islamic takeover is doing it through politics. And might I add that every single one of these politicians are Democrats? Why do you think we on the right call them the demon rats or the democrats? I say demon rats because, you know, it's got rat very prominent in there, and they honestly are trying to do their very best to take over. Now, the clip that you saw at the very beginning was a fundraiser in Dearborn, Michigan. It was a fundraiser, and it was for the Middle East Children's Alliance, for the Middle East Children's Alliance in Dearborn Heights. It was a Dearborn Heights fundraiser. Now we could all put our heads in the sands and act like, you know, there's nothing going on here, nothing to see here. Linda B is just over exaggerating for clicks. Prove that I am over exaggerating, because I am not over exaggerating. These people are in our government, even at the federal level, local, state, federal. A big city in Texas, they want to do that. They want to implement Sharia law. We have Omar Fatah, who wants to be the mayor in Minneapolis, and you have Zohran Kwame Mamdani, who wants to be the mayor of our largest city, New York City. So when you're looking at all of this and you see the wide open border that the prior administration just flooded these people into our country, people from parts of the world that hate our country. Let me just put that out there. And all of these Muslims, and this is in Dearborn, Michigan. Well, actually, this is in, the first clip was in Dearborn, Michigan. The ones that I'm going to show you next are in Hamtramck. Okay, Hamtramck. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm sorry. I'm going to say Hamtramck, Michigan. All right, which is 5 miles outside of Detroit, Michigan. So let's just take a look. There are some demon rats that got caught in voter fraud.
Members of Hamtramck City Council facing a judge today in a case of election fraud. Both men are accused of forging signatures on absentee ballots in a tight general election. They're pleading not guilty and vowing to attend tonight's city council meeting, which is getting underway right now. But as 7 News Detroit's Ruta Olsenida found out, they're not the only city officials who've recently been accused of wrongdoing. She went to today's hearing to get some answers.
The list is pretty long for the charges that these two councilmen are now facing. Election law forgery, forging signatures on an absentee ballot. The accused didn't say much inside the courtroom, but residents are demanding answers.
It's like a slap in the face to the rest of the community.
Hamtramck resident and former city councilwoman Andrea Karpinski says she's disappointed with city leadership, so much so that she actually resigned in 2020. So from being on city council to what you're seeing now, what goes through your head?
It's frustrating. When I was on city council, it was a pride. You know, I felt pride to be a part of the community, to be a leader in the community, and now it's kind of a joke.
This week, the Monroe County Prosecutor's Office charged City Councilman Muhtasin Sadman and Councilman Mohammed Hassan with forging absentee ballots, election law forgery, and other felonies tied to the 2023 general election. On Tuesday, both men appeared in court, and 31st District Court Judge Alexis Crott set a personal bond for the two with some conditions, including giving up their passports. But the two men did not have much to say. In fact, they stood mute as their attorneys put in their not guilty pleas. So we took the questions to them.
Did you forge any election ballots?
Sir, are you innocent?
But no response is not good enough for this community.
When we have, actions like these or, incidents like these, then it undermines that faith in the system.
On top of these charges, two other city councilmen are accused of not living in the city. The police chief was also suspended by the city manager for allegedly violating department policy, and the city manager was then in turn suspended by city council.
It's like unending. It seems like a circus, and it's sad.
We reached out to Mayor Amer Ghalib, who told us in a statement, quote, "I have always been advocating for free, fair, and transparent elections." He went on to say, whoever committed any frauds should face consequences, but we want to ensure fair trial for everyone, and justice should prevail at the end. The two councilmen are expected back in court next week on Thursday. In Hamtramck, I'm Rudolph Sinaida, 7 News Detroit.
So that woman resigned from city leadership in 2020. Remember what happened in 2020? I digress on that point. And you notice that something about every single one of those city council members. Yes, they are all Muslim. Even the mayor of Hamtramck is also Muslim. And this is where these atrocities are taking place. It's happening in more than just Hamtramck or Dearborn. These atrocities are taking place really in other areas of the United States. And remember what you just heard at the header clip at the beginning of this video. This is what they want to do in this country. I am here to warn you. I am here to sound the alarm. We need to get to praying. We need to be fasting and praying because our country is at stake. Our very freedoms are at stake. Christianity is at stake. I don't think we know, or some people do know. Let me be clear. Some people do know. Some of you are well informed, well read, but some people do not know. People that are in our families, they have absolutely no idea. Let's look again into what these men actually did. And let me just say, this really gets worse with these people here. I'm going to read you this post coming by way of Paul White, Gold Eagle. Half of the entire Hamtramck, Michigan city council members have been charged for committing election fraud. In addition to Abu Musa, busted stuffing stacks of absentee ballots at a city drop box for his own primary race, Muhtasin Sadman and Mohammed Hassan have been charged with election fraud for forging signatures on absentee ballots. How much you want to bet all of them are committing election fraud? Of course. Of course. Again, I'm going to say their names again. Abu Musa, Muhit, Mahmoud, Mohammed Hassan, Khalil, Rafah, Muhtasin Sadman, Mohammed Al-Zamori. All Muslims. It also says Muslims are embedded everywhere. What happens when people come from countries that have 100% fraudulent governments, and instead of assimilating, they bring their nonsense with them? Okay, so yes, they come from other place, and it says other places. Muslims are embedded everywhere. Let me repeat. Muslims are embedded everywhere. So they have been charged with committing election fraud, which includes fraudulent signatures, stuffing of drop boxes. Now, this is very serious because to me, in my opinion, we should have a law in this country that only people who are born here can hold any political office. I don't care if it's local, state, federal, definitely federal, but even the ones that are local and state, that they can only people who are born in this country. Okay, and then they have to pass some kind of a background check, because we don't need folks with these radicalized ideas running this country. We have enough people who got a screw loose, who were born and raised here. We don't need to add to the insanity. And you know I am telling the truth. So I'm going to show you a little bit of real time, a little bit of reality here when one of these city council members in the primary that he's running in is stuffing the ballot box. All right, here you go. We have someone who is stuffing a drop box. Look at this. Pay close attention, warriors. They're putting multiple ballots in this drop box. There they go, just multiple ones. They keep going. Okay, they've done their dirty deeds. So the camera caught them. All right. And again, all these people are Muslims. They're all Democrats. All right. This is in Hamtramck, Michigan. A lot of craziness is going on in Dearborn, Michigan as well. So we need to, I don't know, President Trump, I just want something to be done about people who do not come from this country. And it mentioned in the news clip that they were going to have their passports taken away. This is awful at the highest level, because they literally, listening to that clip at the beginning, that's why I played it at the beginning. And that was in Dearborn, Michigan, the one at the beginning. Michigan has been, in my mind, seemingly overtaken. Okay. And let me just remind you where most of these Muslims are coming from. All right. They're coming from blue states like New York, Illinois, Michigan, Maryland, New Jersey. Okay. All blue states, California, all blue states, all blue. And there's a reason for that. This is by design. They're literally trying to subvert our America, God's country. They're trying to subvert everything that this country was built upon. And my charge to you who are listening, are you just going to sit there and let it happen? I'm trying to do my part by having this show to inform people of what is really going on. They want to take over. There is no other choice. There is no option for them. There is no assimilating, ladies and gentlemen. There is no assimilating. These people want to take over. They are upset with American imperialism. They look at us like we are the oppressors, like, you know, that whole oppressor narrative that the left likes to push. And they're pushing a lot of other things on our children, you know, just awful things, guys. And I really thank you for watching this video. But don't forget, I am here Mondays through Thursdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on YouTube for a live show. It's live Mondays through Thursdays. Also, you can catch me on the Linda B podcast on Twitter. Also, chat with me, Linda B, on TikTok and Instagram. You all be blessed. Love God, your families, the United States of America, and march on, warriors.